Good morning to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Today's editorial is all about recently held elections in the state of Karnataka and the verdict given by people over there. You all know that the Congress party has got thumping majority. It has got a landslide victory. So today's editorial is all about the elections that were held recently in the state of Karnataka, and there are some important words you can learn from this editorial. Let us start the session with the editorial vocabulary. The very first word, mandate. Mandate, part of speech, noun. The authority given to an elected group of people, such as a government, to perform an action or govern a country. Usually, at the time of the elections, we use this word. We say the mandate was given in favor of a particular party, means the authority given to an elected group of people. In this context, it was given to the Congress party. But here you have to recollect the word mandatory. Something is mandatory means compulsory. And here the word form is different, mandate, part of speech, noun. The second word is an important word in the sense garner goes with effective English. And the part of speech is verb. Garner something or someone. To collect something usually after much work or with difficulty. Not just like that. After much work or with difficulty, you gather something, then you have to use the word garner. Then demographic. I'm sure you all know the word demographic. Demographic, part of speech, adjective. Demography, noun form. Demographic means related to demography. What is demography? The study of populations and the different groups that make them up. Usually, demography goes with population studies. A familiar word, but an important word. Today, we talk about demographic dividend means what? In a particular country, if a lot of youngsters are there, then the country has an advantage. Then we use the term demographic dividend. Accrue, an important word. Whenever you come across a new word, remember, spend some time and revise regularly. Only then you can remember that particular new word. Accrue is a new word, part of speech verb. It is a regular verb, accrue, accrued, accrued, to increase in number or amount over a period of time. Gradually, slowly, something increases either in number or amount, then we use the word accrue. Erosion, I'm sure you all know it goes with soil. You must have studied school level soil erosion, but erosion goes with other combinations as well. Part of speech noun, the verb form is erode. The fact of soil, usually it goes with soil. Stone being gradually damaged and removed by the waves, rain, or wind. Water also. Interest accrued. And erosion, sometimes what happens, we use this with confidence. Someone loses his confidence and something make him lose his confidence, then we say his confidence is eroded. Then you have to recollect one word. When someone's confidence touches the lowest level, then we use one idiomatic expression. We say his confidence has touched the rock bottom. Touch the rock bottom means touch the lowest level. Our confidence should never touch the rock bottom, an important idiomatic expression. Slide could be a noun, slide could be a verb. I'm sure you all know as a noun, when you go to a park or to a school playground, you come across a slide that is usually slope and kids enjoy a lot. And it has got other meanings as well. As a noun, to go into a worse state, often through lack of control or care. When something is not under control or not being taken care of, then it may go from bad to worse state or situation. Then we use the word slide. And what is the past and what are the past and past participle forms? Slide, slid, slid. That also you have to know. Devoid, an important word. It takes a preposition of devoid of something. Part of speech adjective. To lack or be without something that is necessary or usual or important. Something does not have something that is essential or necessary or usual or indispensable. Then we use the word devoid. And do remember it takes a preposition of devoid of. Verdict has got many meanings. Typically, it is a word that goes with the legal sphere, a verdict given by the judge. A verdict is any judgment, but the second meaning, typical meaning, the judgment given by the judge, we use the term verdict and part of speech noun. But the other meaning in this context, a verdict is any judgment or opinion given after considering the facts of a situation. In this context, the verdict given by the people of Karnataka state in favor of the Congress party. Composure, an important word, part of speech, noun, the feeling of being calm, confident, and in control. Composed, the verb form, adjective form, composed. He is always a composed person. Means what? Very balanced or poised. See, I'm using related words. Try to catch those words as well. Extraneous, an important word. They have given many a time in different competitive exams under fillers and passage close test. Part of speech, adjective. What does it mean? Not directly connected with or related to something. Something is not directly related or connected to something else, then we use extraneous. Generally, it takes the word factor. Extraneous factor means not related to a particular thing. Opiates. So opiate, part of speech, noun singular, opiates, noun plural. Opium, I'm sure you all know, a drug that contains opium, especially one that causes sleep. Opium, what is the impact of opium? It causes sleep. And then you have to, it also goes with drugs. I'm sure many people know that. Opiate is a new word form. We always use the word opium, but here it has been used a different word form, and the part of speech is noun. Opiate, singular, opiates, noun. Impart is an important word to communicate information to someone. Generally, this word I use regularly. It goes with knowledge, information. Impart knowledge to others. Impart usually values to others. Impart ethics to others. An important word, do remember. Cherish goes with everyday English, part of speech verb. It is a regular verb. To love, protect, and care for someone or something that is important to you. You consider something dear to you, means something special to you, then you cherish that one. And I usually give one typical example. I cherish my childhood. A lot of people cherish the childhood. So you, whenever you think of your childhood, you feel very happy. Then you can say, I cherish my college days. I cherish my childhood, an important word. Though it goes with give. Impart also you can say give. Tirupathrao, that is good. But generally the word impart, it goes with education, knowledge, information, values, ethics. Those combinations are very important. All of you remember, don't stop with the meaning of the word, that is of no use. No doubt you have to know the meaning of a particular word, but exam point of view, what matters, for sure you have to know the part of speech of that particular word. And more than the part of speech and the meaning, you have to know the word forms, you have to know the word combinations, you have to know the word usage. And this knowledge will help when it comes to error location, close test, fillers, and also passage also very useful. Sectarianism we have got for the first time, and this word goes with polity, part of speech, noun. Very strong support for the religious or political group that you are a member of, and that may cause trouble to others. You give support to a particular political group or a particular religious group, and that support may trouble others, then we say sectarianism. This word has a negative connotation that you have to know. Rhetoric. A rhetoric, part of speech, noun. It goes with public speaking usually. It also goes with writing. So what does it mean? Speech or writing intended to be effective and influence people. Very effective language, especially this goes with rhetoric, goes with public speakers, politicians, and they try to use that to influence people. Paradigm. Got to be careful with pronunciation. G is silent. Paradigm. Paradigm, part of speech, noun. It is used as an adjective as well. Eloquence is different. Eloquence goes more with fluency, eloquent speaker. But rhetoric is a particular style used by public speakers to influence the masses. Paradigm, a model of something or a very clear and typical example of something. Something is a perfect piece. Then you can say it is a typical example of something. Here we also use the word epitome. Epitome also means a perfect example of something and something that can be emulated. Emulate means imitate, but imitate has negative connotation, emulate has a positive connotation. That's all about the words from today's editorial. Very useful words. You have to spend some time. Some words are very important, new, and only then you will be able to remember. Now, let us go to the editorial analysis. As I said, today's editorial is related to polity, all about recently held elections in the state of Karnataka, and the Congress party got a thumping majority. They got a landslide victory. Here, I would like to tell one more thing. As I said, whenever you come across, I will try to bring, whenever you come across a particular topic that has a broad sphere, then you have to create a word map. Here you can create a word map based on elections. Then you have to write all the related words: contest, campaign, canvas, and also you can use words like thumping majority expressions, landslide victory, lose a deposit, verdict. Here they have used many of these, mandate. So when you write all the words related to a particular concept or theme, in this context, elections, then what happens? In fact, this approach is used by native speakers as well, word map approach. You have all the related words at one place, lexical terms, then it will be easy to remember, easy to learn, and the most important thing, easy to recollect. Recollection is very important. In the exam, whether you can answer the question or not, that is not important. The question is how fast you can answer. If others take 30 seconds, you take 10 seconds, you have the competitive edge. Lessons in a loss. So, on the 2023 Karnataka Assembly election result, lessons in a loss. Usually, we talk about a loss and gain, victory and defeat. And there are some lessons to learn from the victory. Usually, we say there are lessons in a loss. When we lose something, definitely it's a lesson, and we have to learn from that lesson. And lessons in a loss, maybe more than one. But what is the main idea of this editorial? The Congress can learn more from the Bharatiya Janata Party's loss than from its win. This is a little tricky. It has to say the Bharatiya Janata Party has to learn a lot of lessons from its loss. On the other hand, contrary to that, it says the Congress can learn more from the Bharatiya Janata Party's loss than from its win. You have to read this very carefully. So, Congress can learn more from not its own performance, from the performance of the BJP party, from the Bharatiya Janata Party's loss, than from its win. How and why, then when you read the editorial, you understand. The mandate for the Congress in Karnataka is as definitive as it could have been. So, mandate, here mandate means what? The authority given to an elected group of people, in this context, the Congress party, as it could have been. Definitive means certain, because they got the thumping majority, they got a landslide victory. Definitive, no ambiguity, no vagueness, and exactly. So here, as it could have been, this is something very important. There is one topic we use the term either. Helping verbs, a general term. To be very specific, we use models, not models, modals. So these helping verbs, a general term, are very important from the exam point of view. If you ask me, sir, how many are there? There are about 20. Usually, when I teach under three headings based on the group's affiliation: Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3. So, here there is one could have plus verb in the past participle form. I could have won the match. I could have come in time. I could have completed the syllabus. So, what does it mean? It talks about a past action that was to happen but did not happen. To rephrase that, it is used to express the past possibility. Means what? Something was to happen in the past, but it did not happen. Imagine I was to come in time. There was a possibility for me to come in time or to be punctual. Because of some factor I got held up, so I came late. Then I say I could have come in time, but I got held up somewhere. So could have an important in exams they do ask questions based on the lengthy helping verbs. This is a lengthy one. Could have, should have, might have, must have. All the four are very important. You have to know the specific functions of these lengthy helping verbs or models. So the verdict, the mandate has been definitive, as it could have been, and absolute. To justify that, an absolute majority with 135 seats in the 224 member assembly. So 135 out of 224, obviously absolute majority or landslide victory or thumping majority, garnering support from across regions and demographic groups. For a party to get the thumping majority, yes, it is. It could have been something. No, it is not in passive voice. It is in active voice. Could have been done passive voice. Could have been something. Then a noun. Then it is not in passive voice. It is in active voice. Here we have used. Usually we use a main or action verb, but here we have used a primary auxiliary be as a main verb. And what is the past participle form of be? Sorry, past participle form of be, been. So do remember who is this Ajay. It is not in passive voice, it is in active voice. And here, in place of a main or action verb, we have used a primary auxiliary be, and the past participle form of be is been. That is important, one has to know. So they got this landslide victory. How? From where? Garnering, an important word. Garner means to gather, to collect something, usually after much work or with difficulty. They haven't got the majority just like that. They must have worked very hard, beyond any doubt, and garnered, based on that, they got the support, garnered support, gathered support from across regions. That means from the north, the east, the west, the south. And also, besides the regions and demographic groups, means different caste groups, different religious groups, demographic groups. So, two sources they got this thumping majority, one from across regions, one thing, and the other demographic groups. No doubt some of the vote share accrued to it, accrued, an important word, to increase in number or amount over a period of time. Usually wealth gets accrued, information, knowledge, they get accrued. And in this context, what got accrued or increased, it is the vote share. No doubt some of the vote share accrued to it negatively as the principal party that was in opposition to the Bharatiya Janata Party. That means those who did not like the Bharatiya Janata Party, they must have gone in favor of the Congress Party. How did it get the votes or the vote bank? How did it increase? Based on the vote share accrued to it negatively, not based on the likeness towards the Congress Party, perhaps based on the antagonism or the that's a very strong word or the negative dislike towards a particular party. That's what the sentence means. This also became clear in the erosion of support for the Janata Dal Secular. There is another party. In fact, in the fray, there were three major parties. One, the BJP ruling party, once. Then the Congress, and the third one, which could have made a substantial impact, JDS, Janata Dal Secular. But there is a particular party that has lost its the base. Which party is that? Janata Dal Secular. This also became clear in the erosion of support. Erosion. Erode goes with verb form, erosion noun form. It goes with soil usually, stone. More than stone, in my opinion, it goes with soil. Being gradually removed, not damaged, removed from the by the waves, rain, wind, water, any of these. And in this context, erosion of what? Support. For which party? JDS, Janata Dal Secular. The space for a third player shrank considerably. In the past, I think they got about 30 plus. This time they got 20. So the number has come down drastically. The space for a third player shrank considerably. Based on that, here there is a verb shrink, shrank, shrunk. So it is in past. Now it talks about the BJP party. The BJP won less than half the number of seats the Congress did. Congress got about 135, BJP got about 60. So BJP won, it is in past tense, less than half the number of seats the Congress did. Again, sometimes students ask me, sir, what is the difference between I like something, I do like something. I completed the work, I did complete the work. We use these patterns. I do like something. I did complete the work. for emphasis. You can say I completed. You can also say I did complete. Then, if you ask the question, what is the difference between these two? One is a casual statement, and second is an emphatic statement. If someone asks you, do you like English? For God's sake, don't say I don't like English. Casual statement, I like English. And you like English a lot. Then you can say, I do like English. That means you are trying to be emphatic. But the party that might have suffered, see here, a lengthy helping verb or model, might have suffered. It talks about a possibility which is a guess. To give you one example that goes with everyday situations, imagine yesterday I lost my gold chain and a lot of people came. I don't know who stole the chain, but I guess my servant. Then I may say the servant might have taken or the servant might have stolen the chain. So might have suffered talks about a past possibility, which is a guess. But the party that might have suffered an irreversible slide, something that cannot be changed. A legal term, irrevocable. Here, irreversible. Slide here means going down or going from a situation that is bad to a situation that is worse. Is the JDS. As I said, I think earlier they got about 30 plus, this time they got 20. So obviously, irreversible slide. And what is the reason for that? Why JDS lost about 10 plus seats? And why is it irreversible slide in the opinion of the editorial? Because the editorial opines the public saw, which was seen, it is in past tense passive voice, as a family syndicate. Usually, the word syndicate goes with business groups, and sometimes it has a negative connotation. But syndicate means a group of business people come together to share the expenditure which is required for that particular business. So, syndicate. You can also say a group of people with similar interests, a family syndicate. So that is definitely not something people might not have accepted. Devoid of any moral compass, devoid of an important word, lack something. And do remember, devoid is an adjective. It takes a preposition of. This combination is important, you have to remember. Devoid of what? Lack what? Any moral compass means no values, no ethics. That's what the editorial says. And let me tell you guys, when I do the editorial analysis, it is not subjective, it is objective. That means what? Subjective means personal, objective means based on facts. So here, whatever I say based on the editorial, I try to do the analysis. I never try to project my personal opinion, and you should also do not should not look at the editorial that way. We are doing it to improve proficiency point of view, proficiency in English. So everything is objective. Based on the editorial, I try to interpret, I try to do the analysis. Please remember, voters could be forgiven. We could forgive active voice and could be forgiven passive voice. Again, this is an important pattern from competitive exams point of view. Helping verbs in passive voice. She can do the work. The work can be done by her. So you should read that book. That book should be read. Same pattern, we could forgive and voters could be forgiven. Do remember, it is in passive voice. Voters could be forgiven for not having known which way the JDS would lean after the election. Imagine the voters did not know which way the JDS would lean after the election. For that, we can excuse, we can forgive the voters. What is the reason? Surely the opportunism of individual MLAs being opportunistic and the JDS following a hung assembly in 2018 weighed heavily on their minds. So here it talks about what happened in the past, earlier, 2018. That time some MLAs and the JDS, they must have resorted to opportunistic politics and following what a hung assembly. Hung assembly means no party gets the majority. Then we use this expression hung assembly. Then what happens? They take the support of other parties or they form a coalition government. That's what usually happens. But you may wonder why this word in green. There is a verb hang. Usually in English, very good, I appreciate that. In English, we have two types of verbs according to one classification: regular verbs, irregular verbs. What is a regular verb? It is one that takes D or ED. So, as a regular verb, hang, hanged, hanged. And usually it is either regular or irregular. But some verbs, they may be regular at the same time irregular. As an irregular verb, the forms are hang, hung, hung. Then you should wonder, this has been given many a time, so I'm going to spend a few minutes. What is the difference between hanged and hung? If you are talking about persons, you have to use hanged. The local government hanged the terrorist yesterday. I'm talking about terrorist, a person, so hanged. If you are talking about things, you have to use hung, irregular form. Here it talks about hung assembly, not about a person, about assembly, hung assembly. So we have to use the irregular form, hang, hung, hung. That is an important thing you have to recollect. Another indecisive verdict, verdict, judgment, or opinion given after considering the facts of a situation. In this context, verdict in favor of the Congress party. Another indecisive, not firm, not decisive, not definitive. Indecisive verdict would have been, see, one more lengthy helping verb. Today we have come across so many: could have been, might have been, would have been. As good as defeat for the Congress, would have been as good as defeat. So good that they got the landslide victory, they got the thumping majority. That's what the sentence means. But here would have been an important expression. I should have brought it in green. Why is it important? Here the pattern is different, but generally it goes with past conditional. What is a past conditional? Any conditional has two clauses: the main clause, the if clause. So, past conditional, the main clause would plus have plus verb, past participle form, usually action or main verb. And if clause, we should use past perfect tense. Example: if she had worked hard, she would have got success. If she had worked hard, past perfect affirmative. She would have got success, main clause. That you have to recollect. And many competitive exams, they have given questions based on past conditional, an important conditional. So, how did they get this victory? Now, editorial talks about the reasons behind the victory related to Congress Party, and the loss, the BJP party. You must have noticed I have used the Congress Party, the BJP party. Why? When we talk about a particular party, though exceptions are there, before a party, we have to use a definite article, the Congress Party, the BJP party. So remember that you may get in the exam. Throughout the campaign, campaigning, canvassing, and constituency, all related words, the Congress stayed united, focused, and dynamic, positive aspects. While in contrast, we use while to express a contrast. It is sometimes a contrasting word. While BJP leaders sought to settle scores means based on the differences, they try to do something. Sought to settle scores with one another and worked at cross purposes, not in unity, but cross purposes, different reasons, not going not in tandem, to use an important expression. And here this I should have brought in green, but we have got this recently. One another is a pronoun. It is a reciprocal pronoun. When we talk about more than two persons or more than two things, we have to use one another. And when we talk about two persons or two things, we have to use each other. That you have to recollect. The Congress showed maturity and composure as the BJP tried to make up for its unpopularity by raking up divisive and extraneous issues. So this again talks about the reasons behind the Congress, the party's victory, and why the BJP lost. The Congress showed, again, positive terms, obviously, maturity and composure. An important word, the feeling of being calm, confident, and in control, poised, balanced, related words. As the BJP tried to make up for, compensate, this is an important phrasal verb. Make up has many meanings, I'm sure you all know. As a noun, it is one makeup. It goes with ladies, you all know that. But here it is a phrasal verb. Make up for something means compensate for something, an important phrasal verb. its unpopularity, compensate for its unpopularity. How? By raking up, by taking into consideration divisive and extraneous issues. Negative words here, positive words here. And I would like to reiterate, I would like to tell you guys, I'm interpreting, I'm doing the analysis based on what the editorial says. And this is purely objective analysis, means based on facts. Nothing personal, nothing subjective. Do remember. So, divisive, extraneous issues, negative words. Extraneous, an important word, not directly connected to or connected with or related to something. Obviously, based on these the negative approach, the two aspects, they must have lost. That is the opinion of the editorial. As a ruling party, it refused to be accountable for. This is also an important expression I should have brought in green. Accountable for means answerable for its track record in government and underestimated the intelligence of the voters by offering them communal opiates. So, what are the reasons for the failure of the BJP party? One, it refused to be accountable for its track record in government. Whatever they did when they were in power, they refused to take the responsibility, accountable for, responsible for. One factor. The second factor, underestimated the intelligence of the voters. So they underestimated, estimate, underestimate, overestimate. Underestimated the intelligence of the voters by how offering them communal opiates. Opium, a regular word, opiate. So unnecessary also you can say, but not related is very specific. Not related to a particular thing. So opium, a regular form, word form, opiate, either way, noun. A drug that contains opium, especially one that causes sleep. But here, what is the combination? Communal opiates means based on this religious factors and community factors, they try to appeal to the voters that backfired, perhaps did not work. The Congress largely stuck to issues that could have an impact on lives and livelihoods. On the other hand, on the contrary, so here the sentence is the BJP tried to bank on providing or offering communal opiates. On the other hand, the Congress largely stuck to issues that could have, this talks about could have, past possibility, but chances are less, could have an impact on lives and livelihoods. Obviously, the first preference is lives and livelihoods, then comes religion for very good reasons. That's what the BJP editorial also says. For very good reasons, the BJP deserved its defeat as much as the Congress deserved its victory. This is again the opinion of the editorial. For very good reasons, the BJP deserved its defeat as much as the Congress deserved its victory. Why? Perhaps they must have tried to justify. The Congress and the BJP have lessons to be drawn from the Karnataka verdict. That is all about, the editorial is all about the lessons to be learned. But here they have used a new expression that you have to catch. Lessons to be drawn from the Karnataka verdict, lessons to be learned. So, what are those lessons? If the BJP truly wants to be a party trusted by all religious and linguistic communities, it must learn to respect them. So, what is the first lesson for the BJP to learn? If it wants to be trusted, if the BJP truly wants to be a party trusted by, they should trust and it should be trusted. Trusted by all religious, one thing, and linguistic communities, then what is it supposed to do? It must learn to respect them. It must respect all religious communities and also religious groups and linguistic communities. After it failed, after its failed strategy in West Bengal in 2021 and now in Karnataka, the party must see the writing on the wall, means a clear message. Must see. I have already said many a time. Must is a helping verb. It has two functions. One, it is used to express a person's personal obligation, an obligation imposed by the speaker. And the second one, it is used to convey the idea that something is compulsory. No, no, don't express your personal opinions here, Ajay. Please don't express your personal opinions. That's what I've been telling. This is a very sensitive topic. Today's editorial, elections and it talks about the religious dimension, the secular dimension. Please don't express your personal opinions. Listen to the analysis which is being done objectively. Try to learn whatever you can learn from proficiency in English point of view. Could be grammar, could be vocabulary. Don't go beyond that. This is not the platform to express personal opinions. So it is totalizing. Its totalizing project is harmful not only for itself but also for the nation. So this, thank you, thanks for your response. You have taken it positively. So editorial opines the BJP party is totalizing its. Again, this is an important expression. It is a pronoun, possessive pronoun, and there's an important rule that goes with possessive pronouns. What is that rule? Possessive pronouns never take an apostrophe. When I teach this, some students ask me, something is wrong with the stylus. Some students ask me, they say, "Sir, we have seen something like this. You say possessive pronouns don't take an apostrophe, but you have seen it apostrophe, yes." Then I would like to reiterate, possessive pronouns never take an apostrophe, and there are no second thoughts about that. Then what does it mean, this one? It apostrophe yes means either it is or it has. It is a short form. It does not talk about the possessive nature, possessive aspect. It is not possessive case. So its totalizing project is harmful not only for itself but also for the nation. So again, parallel expression and also conjunctions, you have to, this is something very important from the exam point of view. What is this? Not only but also, but do remember exceptions are there. But generally, whatever word you see, the part of speech you see after not only, the same part of speech you have to see after but also. Not only for, but also for someone, someone, for itself, for the nation. That is what precisely we call parallel expression or parallel structure. A violation of long cherished and productive regional aspirations is unsettling for national integrity and progress. So here it talks about India is known for integrity, a country known for unity in diversity. A violation going against that spirit. What is that? Long cherished. There's an important word here, cherished means what? To love, protect, and care for someone or something that is important to you. Long cherished and productive regional aspirations. So when we say unity in diversity, we always respect the regional aspirations. It has been like that for many decades. So violation of that is not good, unsettling, not good for the national integrity and progress. If it is done, what is the negative impact? What will be the consequences? National integrity may get affected and the progress may get stalled. So it is not disturbing, obviously, not good, unsettling. The attempt to undermine, if you remember, we got this word last week. Undermine means what? To weaken someone or something gradually. The attempt to undermine native dairy. So they want to substantiate the previous sentence. Here it says, it is not a good thing, violation of long cherished and productive regional aspirations. That is not a good thing. To justify that statement, the attempt to undermine native dairy brand Nandini is a case in point. There is a particular brand in Karnataka, very popular brand, Nandini, and it is a dairy brand. This again, you got to be careful. There are two words which go with confusing words. One is DIARY, diary, what you write every day about the incidents, events, all that. And here, what is the spelling? Dairy, DAIRY, related to cattle, all that, the products. Dairy brand Nandini is a case in point. Again, an important expression. A case in point you have to remember. In a remarkable shift from the past, the Congress acknowledged that it must address questions of caste justice too. Congress has taken a different turn certain areas. So, in a remarkable shift means change from the past, the Congress acknowledged, accepted something what that it must address. Here, address means deal with, handle, tackle questions of caste justice too, while holding on to its opposition to religious sectarianism. At the same time, it wanted to hold to its opposition to what? Religious sectarianism. There's an important word. What does it mean? Very strong support for the religious or political group, and that may cause problems between different groups. So it is against that. And expanding welfareism. The focus is on welfareism. The Congress needs to move beyond the tired rhetoric. Now he talks about the Congress party. The Congress needs, here it is in present tense, subject is third person singular, affirmative form, then we should add s or es to the verb. So need, needs. The Congress. So before a party, we have to use a definite article, the. The Congress needs to move beyond the tired, exhausted, excessively used rhetoric. Rhetoric is an important word. Speech or writing intended to be effective and influence people. Many politicians say quite often, I am ready to die for the country. It comes under rhetoric. So something that is used quite often. A rhetoric of the old order, so many expressions are there. And they have to move beyond that and frame a new paradigm, an important word. Paradigm means a model of something or a very clear and typical example of something. A new model, not based on the old rhetoric, but a new model. What is this new model? That is inclusive, including many groups, inclusive towards the regional, religious, class, and caste diversities of the country. The growth should be always inclusive. It has made an experimental beginning. It has made present perfect tense an experimental beginning in Karnataka, full stop. Between the failed experiment of the BJP, so BJP failed, but Congress has been successful. So, how does the editorial conclude? Between the failed experiment of the BJP and the successful one of the Congress, Karnataka voters have imparted important lessons to India's political class. This is a wonderful sentence, the last sentence. It says, between the failed experiment, one experiment failed, the other one got success. Between the failed experiment of the BJP and the successful one of the Congress, Karnataka voters have imparted, present perfect. Impart means to give, to communicate information to someone. But generally it goes with impart knowledge, impart values, impart lessons. In this context, imparted important lessons to India's political class. So there's something to learn. So that based on that, main idea is being reiterated, but the phrase has been changed. A very useful editorial from proficiency point of view, not from the parties. Some party won, some party lost. That is not important. Here we focus on proficiency in English. Do remember. That way, it is an important editorial. Now, let us go to comprehension based questions based on today's editorial. What is this editorial about? Perhaps you can write in brief, that will help when it comes to the descriptive paper. Which party was seen as a family syndicate? So, what are the key words? Seen as a family syndicate devoid of any moral compass. So, here, the Congress here, one of not followed by, not required. Here, let me see the sentence. Between the failed experiment of the BJP and the successful experiment of the Congress. So here we don't have to use any verb. Between this student and that student, between this book and that book, same pattern. Between the failed experiment of the BJP and the successful experiment of the Congress, same pattern. In place of experiment, they have used the word one. Nothing wrong. You don't have to use any verb. So, which parties sought to settle scores with one another and worked at cross purposes, not in tandem? So, keywords you should navigate, locate, and write the answer. What is unsettling for national integrity, disturbing for national integrity and progress? Again, based on keywords, you should be able to write the answer. A new paradigm. What is a key word here? Paradigm, a model, a perfect model, an epitome. Should be inclusive towards what? A new paradigm should be inclusive towards certain groups. And towards what? Inclusive towards what? You have to mention all those groups. Let us go to today. I have an important meeting, so I haven't brought the practice questions based on exam topics. Please don't be disappointed. Tomorrow I'm going to get, and this is the last slide you're going to work on. You got these words on Saturday from the Saturdays from the editorial. Try to recollect and write the part of speech and the meaning. And all the words you got last week, I will try to bring tomorrow and see how many of those words you remember. If you remember all the words or meanings, that's great. For today, The words you got on Saturday. Write the part of speech trials. Obviously, noun trial trials. So, what does it mean? Based on the editorial context of the editorial. Yes, you can write. I appreciate all the students who are writing about all about the editorial in brief, in a nutshell. That is really good. You're doing it spontaneously. Milk products, dairy. That's right. So, what is the answer? A test, usually over a period of limited period of time on human beings. Then we say human clinical trials. E is the answer. Validate verb form, validation noun form. So part of speech here noun, but do remember validate is a verb form. So what does it mean? To make something officially correct or authentic. Something is right, you say officially. Validation. Answer is H. Eminent, eminent scientist, eminent lawyer, eminent person, eminent sense used by the editorial. So obviously part of speech is adjective. And what does it mean? Famous, respected, or important, renowned, any of these words you can use. Integrated approach. See, I'm making the combinations. You should also try that way. When you make the combination, you feel comfortable, then you can decide the part of speech. When you know integrated approach, definitely it makes sense. That means integrated part of speech, adjective. Because approach is a noun form. So integrated means what? With two or more things brought together to get a better result. Answer is A. Very good. Ambit, an important word. Important words you have to spend some time. I would like to reiterate. Otherwise, not possible to remember. So ambit means what? The range of the influence of something. The range of influence. The sphere of influence, an important word. Ambit of something. So what is the answer here? G is the answer. Obstacle. Obstacles, plural form. That means noun. And you have to recollect synonyms like hurdles, hindrances, blocks, impediments. I've given two synonyms: hurdle, impediment. So answer is B. Anecdotal, part of speech, adjective. Anecdotal means what? Based on reports or someone's experience, not based on evidence. So answer is I. Oh, you are still with the seventh one. Yes, that's right. Adjunct, another important word. It could be a noun, it could be an adjective. Adjunct faculty. It is an adjunct to something as a noun. So what does it mean? Something added to a larger thing that is more important. So D is the answer. D. Yes. And bane. You have to recollect the word boon. Boon, bane. So part of speech, noun. Boon is a positive word, a gift. Bane is a negative word, a curse, a continuous source of trouble or problem. So where is it? Cause of continuous trouble. You should also recollect the word curse, curse. Shortcoming, singular, shortcomings, plural. So obviously a noun. And what are you left with? Fault or failure to reach a particular standard. Then we say shortcoming. Some expectations, some standards, you fail to reach those expectations or those standards. Then we use the word, there was a shortcoming, there were shortcomings. So left with C. Hurdles, obstacles, bottlenecks, impediments, very good. That's all about today's editorial. Do understand I have an important meeting, so I haven't brought the practice questions based on exam topics. But tomorrow, as usual, I'll try to get challenging questions and new models also. Last week you got, I brought spot answer, Anusha. What is this? Fine. So here, fiasco, that's a very good, that also debacle, wonderful, catastrophe. Catastrophe goes with natural calamity, one meaning, and also a debacle, fiasco, wonderful. I appreciate. And something like this, I think Anusha, my student, SSC student, if I'm not wrong. So while preparing for SSC, do remember you should have a lot of synonyms at your fingertips, a lot of antonyms at your fingertips. That will help in the long run. So when you can recollect all the words at level one, hurdles, obstacles, bottlenecks, impediments, and related words, and level two, fiasco, debacle, catastrophe, all these. Please confirm that my student, SSC student. Okay. So tomorrow I'm last week you got a banking student. Okay, fine. So last week you got idioms, phrasal verbs. I'll continue. Error location. I'll continue, but I'll get new words. Para jumble I brought last week. Cloze test, contextual awareness point of view I brought last week. So this week new exam topics, new patterns, so that we take a holistic approach. Thanks for being with me till the fag end of the session. Have a nice day. Do remember to subscribe and share. And after the session, go to the description of the video. There's a link you can join the Telegram group, but mind you, it is not interactive. You can only receive information, you cannot interact, you cannot touch the group. And I'm going to provide the PDF. Try to download the PDF. Thank you. Wonderful.